Oh, man, it's time to break some barriers and some boundaries and all the walls tonight because it's going to be a night where we discuss everything that happened in the episode 9 epic finale of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. This is Earth 894, a Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, or just a Marvel podcast, for depending on your purposes. We're going to be talking about this series that finally wrapped up, which felt like it was a long, long time, but so quick that it actually went by. Joining me on an epic adventure of tonight's endeavors, for just the two of us, it's my man, the greatest dad ever, secretly part of the Sinister Six, some might know. It is Louie Honorini.
I was just waiting for the music to fade. Yeah, I was going to start singing. I hear them crystal raindrops fall and the beauty of it all when the light shining through, or something like that. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. You and
I feel like I should have had the instrumental ready now.
Yeah, you didn't know. Man? We didn't know we were doing that. It's all improv. What's going on?
Man, it is it's going. You know, it's Saturday, the 15th of October, 2022 when we're recording this. And we had a very fun, crazy, wild night as podcasters, that is, the night before, where we did basically a 4-hour live stream on our Twitch. We're trying something a little bit different, and basically my butt is flatter than a wall right now from just sitting constantly and everything. But that's a little TMI. I apologize to everyone out there.
My butt.
That's going good, man. You and I, like I said, are going to be talking She-Hulk tonight. But I want to hear this part.
MCU for you.
So every episode that I've recorded so far, with guests and everything, when I do the MCU for you, and then I basically say like, I miss you, Louie. Everyone has 9 out of 10 times said, "Aw, it's so sweet, it's so cute."
Oh, I miss you
but
too.
Not tonight, because Louie, what has been MCU for you?
Because I'm actually here tonight. I've bought so many Funko Pops, you guys. I have a disease. I was showing Devin before the episode started. I bought a Miss Marvel. I bought an OG US agent, that like the first one that came out before Falcon and Winter Soldier was even an idea. Today I bought an Amit. I also have an original Red Guardian before David Harbour was the Red Guardian. I have an Old Man Logan now. A Groot comic cover. So many. But one thing that I didn't show Devin, but I was going to tell him, I got my first Marvel Collector Core box from Amazon.
Ooh.
It's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, because that movie should have dropped last weekend. It did not, because of delays. Marvel's new favorite thing to do, delay everything. But you ain't lying. But you open it up, I got a t-shirt.
Ooh.
It's got Miles and Gwen on it. I got a little pin of Spider-Man 2099's face. Got a decal of a spider logo.
And now, is this going to be the last thing you present right here?
What do you mean?
Is this the last like big content of the collector box right now?
Yeah,
you're about to reveal, or
I mean, it's 2 more things, but yeah, it's the same general thing. What's up?
Okay,
hit me with it.
That's the wrong one. And he's got
2 exclusive Funko Pops. One of unmasked Spider-Gwen and one of Miles with an electric punch.
Ooh.
And word on the street is it's glow in the dark, but it doesn't say that. But I watched a guy on TikTok do it. So these are cool for a movie that's not going to come out for another fucking 10 years. I got them.
That's pretty cool, though, man. Congratulations. So you're pretty happy with the collector's court?
For my first box, I think it's pretty cool. It looks like the next one is the Wakanda Forever box coming soon.
That might be pretty cool. I have had, I've never had a Marvel one, but I've had a few the Smuggler's Bounty, the base or whatever they call it, the Star Wars ones. I had a few of those, and I've gotten some pretty cool stuff out of it.
As far as the Wakanda Forever one, I'm just hoping for a cool Namor, or as they call him on TikTok, Namor. No, just a cool Namor one. As far as that movie, I'm not too high on it, as everybody knows, but I'm excited for Namor.
Namor. And if you don't like what you get in the box, you'll get it Namor.
Now you play the one that you played on accident.
Beer all night.
Other than that, other than just loot and stuff, I joined your long live stream yesterday, and I talked with some old friends and some new friends, and that was fun. And one of my favorite things was on Instagram. You posted something about Wong being a Kang variant. Oh, it was a She-Hulk thing. And my good buddy Tom, all the way from Canada, said, "Time's going to tell on Wong is the Kang variant theory." And then he said,
where this is going.
Or no, I told him, "Tom, I'll show you my Wang the Conqueror." And he said, "Bah ha ha, dying." So we will get it more into that with Wong and stuff. But yeah, nothing too crazy. I didn't watch any movies or anything off the top of my head. How about you, Devin? What's been MCU for you?
Hey. Aside from that 4-hour stream, if you guys want to go check it out, any of it, really, you could honestly just literally skip to any point in it, be entertained for like a good hour, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. We got it all. That's going to be probably only on our YouTube channel, just because it's a lot of craziness on the editing side. I do not want to deal with that right now. For the ones in the future that aren't 4 hours, maybe a little different. Yeah, go check it out. We'll have a link to it.
Them, if I was you.
It's more like the technical editing, like making sure audio sounds pretty good here and making sure I like, the compression, all the fun podcasting logistics no one really wants to care about. Yeah, it was a good time. But aside from that, I talked about it in the stream a little bit, but I've been wanting to talk about it here because you brought up Wong. Alyssa and I were watching, catching up on the first season where we left off of What We Do in the Shadows, right? And so at one episode, Wong shows up. Not as Wong, of course, but like he literally is practically the same character. He shows up as a vampire necromancer kind of dude, and they're trying to resuscitate or actually bring back and revive one of their familiars that accidentally like got electrocuted in a little water thing. And it all goes south. But it's just funny because I'm like, literally, this dude is everywhere. Wong is in everything, and he's still a sorcerer. So he's breaking all the rules. He's in different shows. And guess who that show is produced by?
Kevin Feige.
Taika Waititi.
Oh.
What has Taika done for Marvel?
He ruined Thor. No, he's awesome. And fuck anybody who didn't think Thor Love and Thunder was good. MCU for you. Today I watched most of Thor Love and Thunder. I forgot.
Is that your first time rewatching it?
No. I love that movie.
I think I told you that like when I was rewatching it like a month ago when I was baking some stuff in the kitchen, I started tearing up at some points. It got me. It didn't get me in the theater, but it did get me when I was doing it the second time. Watching it, that is. But aside from that, dude, kind of been it. I mean, doing a lot of work with just trying to get prepared with the end of She-Hulk, and I'm excited to talk about it. So I think let's spare no expense and let's dive into She-Hulk, the epic episode 9 finale. So, Louie, the episode is titled "Whose Show Is This?" in something that I'm very, very surprised about initially, but now I'm not when I think about it. On IMDb, what would you want to guess that this episode is rated out of 10?
8.7.
You got an 8, but not the 7. Currently at a 5.8.
Damn.
I did not expect it to be that low.
You rated it very high. I had high expectations going in
For the episode or for the series?
for the episode. You told me the
That's true.
episode was amazing and yada yada yada, and
It blew my mind, man.
Jen gets naked. You told me all sorts of great stuff.
I mean, this episode, clocking in at 13 minutes, it was jam-packed with things, but it was also just, I think, the execution, it just blows my mind. The whole fact that they did this crazy ass, half the episode is just a fourth wall break, where she literally climbs out of a Disneyplus and everything. Insane to me.
It was pretty well done. It was pretty funny.
It was funny, man. Because, like, all I could think of is, like, holy shit, if they're doing this with She-Hulk, imagine what they're going to do with Deadpool 3. Because, I mean, you're just saying, okay, sky's the limit here. Literally breaking through our TV. When that Disney Plus screen showed up, did you even think for a second to, like, did it just kick out the episode?
Yeah, not really. It was more of a, like, you kind of expected something like that to happen.
Right.
When it's, well, she kind of led up to it, like, what the hell? This doesn't make any sense. Bloop. So I wasn't like, oh, did I sit on the remote? And plus the show wasn't over or anything. So
Right.
it was, I just didn't know where they were going with it. I just thought it was like, in my mind, she was going to be like, hang on, come back here. And then, like, move the screen over and she'd be standing there again or whatever. But, yeah, that part of the episode was pretty damn intriguing. I'll give you that.
Fair enough, man. I wasn't really taken aback yet, thinking like, oh my God, just quit on me. What the hell happened? I need to know. Mainly because, like you said, the whole setup there, she's like, hold on, wait a minute. One of my favorite parts in this whole episode, though, is with this, the Kevin mastermind android robot behind everything. The fact that they actually made it look like he's wearing a ball cap. I couldn't stop looking at it, man. It was hilarious.
I kind of knew it was coming because, and I'm sure you're the same way, I watch with subtitles on.
Yeah.
And so every time it said Kevin, it was in K period E period V period I. So I was like, why the fuck are they spelling it like that? Like with the even with the periods in it, or like even if it's Kevin all capital, that would have been less suspicious. But it was like how they would spell Jarvis or something like that. So it seemed like it was going to be an AI or something. You and I have differing opinions on this. I thought it would have been fucking legendary if they brought Feige onto the screen for her to be like, bro, you'd be like, well, what? This makes sense. This is our formula. It works. She's like, no, not anymore. I mean, I get them doing the robot and everything, but I just think it would have been like next level to bring Kevin Feige onto the show.
It would have been, but I think there's a chance to, like, let's say no one liked this at all. It did not hit well, and he was in it like that and not the robot. I don't think that would have aged well or done any good for them. That would have been the risk.
Could that have taken them to a 6 instead of a 5.8?
Maybe, right. What I kind of wonder, though, too, has Kevin Feige actually ever had any cameos in the MCU that are, like, actually documented or seen on screen? I don't know if he's ever in anything. If he is, I feel like he's probably like a small background character in like one of the stuff from Phase 1. That'd be it. Or if he is, it's probably even like outside of the MCU, like the movies he was, just helping produce and whatnot. I'll have to look into that more. With this episode 2, there's one thing that like I want to draw a connection to from how this ended as well as how Moon Knight ended. Now, you and I are both in agreement that it really kind of stunk that when they decided to finally get rid of that really tough spot in Moon Knight, they just go straight into the blip, and then everyone's dead, bleeding, pretty much beat the bad guy, beat Arthur and everything. Like, so it's kind of like, oh, you just got rid of the most epic part we all want to see, which they've been doing the whole season. But, with this, they kind of did the same thing where she was like, change this, done. You didn't see even like, all right, Bruce shouldn't be here. She's saying it doesn't make sense to have him there. Does it do this? Why does Todd have the serum and he turns into a Hulk? Doesn't make sense. So she like reverts it and they say, okay, whatever, right? It doesn't actually play out. It just shows, okay, it's done. Daredevil literally drops down out of the sky like a brand new character being summoned in Smash Bros. To Todd's already like being arrested or whatever. Like that's the other part I was kind of like,
Smash Bros.
Why couldn't you just like at least give us an extra like couple scenes right there? Actually show what that would have looked like. Do you feel the same way, or am I overreaching here?
No, I absolutely do feel the same way. It was, I mean, we didn't even talk about the whole beginning of the episode either, though.
Mm-hmm.
With Pug going into the thing that Nikki found out, with the intelligentsia thing that Nikki found out.
Right.
She found out that that fucking guy was the Hulk King, and I didn't really understand why he hates her so much, because he was trying to, what a specimen on the date. And now he's like, oh, women are worse than men. So that didn't make a lot of sense to me, but I was just, there was a whole thing going on at the beginning of the episode. And I was, here I am thinking like, oh, they're actually moving stuff along. And then I agreed when they finally met up at Blonsky's thing.
Yeah.
And Hulk busts through and he goes, get off my cousin. I saw the spoiler of like the Hulk punching Abomination.
That's what I saw too, yeah.
Earlier in the week. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And so maybe they even put that out there because it didn't matter. Like that was just getting erased anyway. But I saw that and I was like, huh. I was taken aback at how much bigger Abomination is than Hulk.
He is pretty damn huge.
I feel like in the 2008 movie, they're about the same size. And then
you're probably right.
When you watch now, like Abomination's got like 3 feet and like 600 pounds on him. It was insanity.
Well, Smart Hulk is smaller too than normal Hulk.
I didn't know that, to be honest with you.
At least I'm pretty sure.
And then Titania busts through and I'm like, what the fuck is even happening? And then she looked at the camera and said, what the fuck is even happening right now? So at least I wasn't wrong.
That was probably one of my favorite moments too, when you just hear Nikki say like super quiet on her breath, like, does this bitch know how to use a door? Or like, how does this bitch keep showing up? Like her insult was so great towards Titania. Oh my God, it was good. One thing that I immediately did, I was like riding just the hype train and excitement after watching the finale that morning, that I was ready to just keep going. I needed more of my fix, right? So I finally got Alyssa to watch She-Hulk because she wanted to wait until all the episodes were out, since she's more of like a binge watcher. And so we got all the way up to episode 8, and that's where we left off on Thursday night. So at that point, I pretty much have seen straight through the season all over again. And I must say, the rewatch like that and being able to go episode to episode to episode has made the show much, much better, in my opinion, because I know what's going to happen. I know how it's going. And there's little things I can look out for more, instead of having to like speculate as I'm watching, like, okay, what's going to happen? And I pick up on more things. So, like, especially with Titania, that whole wedding, it is 100% fake. It is 100% staged. Because we see Todd even confirmed. He's like, oh, yeah, I hired that loser, Josh, whatever, to sleep with you and steal your blood. Who also didn't show up, which is kind of shitty. But Titania, she's also part of this whole intelligentsia nonsense. And it shows because when they're at that wedding and she's like taunting Jen when she's in her actual human form, like fight her and everything, she's saying shit to her that's almost like exactly what intelligentsia would say, or the loser dudes, as well as Todd would say in this matter of fact. So it was like very much like the gaslighting effect. And it's so apparent and so clear when she's talking. And this is like episodes prior. So I was glad to see that because I'm like, okay, I'm seeing more of like why this character is here, right? And it just like when you look at Titania, she is definitely jealous of everything, and she even says it too a little bit. Because even Jen is like, "Why are you so obsessed with me?" And she's like, "No, I'm not." Blah blah blah. But I mean, if you look at it, so is Todd. He's fucking obsessed, and that's something that's like a good narrative or like metaphor for basically like toxic masculinity a lot too. A lot of people can be very envious and insecure about their feeling about someone, and they turn into like that little boy in a playground who picks on the girl he has a crush on. That's literally what like Intelligentsia and Todd are doing. So it made more sense. Like, oh yeah, they really like her, but they don't want to like her. So blah 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 blah. And that's what I'm picking up more on during this rewatch. And I highly recommend it. If anyone's on the fence about it, try and do it a binge. It's really quick, which is nice. Are you gonna go back and rewatch the show at all?
Probably not, to be honest with you. If I'm going to go back
Fair
and
enough.
rewatch some shows, it's going to be like Hawkeye or Daredevil,
Mhm.
Loki. I already watched Loki twice, but even WandaVision, because everyone keeps telling me that that's the best show, and I'm just not seeing it.
I love WandaVision, man. I'll say it every time.
I might rewatch. We'll get. I'm sure we'll dive more into it, but she says while she's talking to Kevin says something about the Hulk coming in. She goes, "Well, why would he just to show up?" Well, he's about to explain that, and she goes, "Save it for the movie." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And that happens, right? And that's all that's said. And so, if we are getting a World War Hulk movie or a Planet Hulk movie or a fucking any more Hulk movie, I might rewatch She-Hulk just to kind of get into the Jen Walters of it all, or even before Daredevil Born Again. I feel like she almost has to make an appearance in that show.
In Daredevil?
know? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good guess. But she'll at least make a couple cameos.
But you've never heard my opinion on Daredevil in the MCU. And I think he sucks.
Really? What?
I don't think he sucks. That took it a little far. He's so talkative. He talks more than he should, and he smiles. But like Matt, I'm used to the Netflix show, which is now the Disneyplus show. But he was like this almost Batman-esque. He was brooding, and he didn't say a lot when he was in the whole thing. Even when he was just Matt, he didn't say a ton. So when he talked, you listened. So I didn't like the I'm Batman, and they keep showing that on TikTok. And he doesn't say I'm Batman, but he goes, I'm Daredevil. I was like, he would never say that. That would never come out of his fucking mouth. And I mean, maybe in the comics or whatever, but like for him to just be like, I'm Daredevil. I was like, no way. And I know She-Hulk is a whole nother thing, but like I've watched Matt fight a lot of powerful people and keep his hood or his mask or whatever on. But Jen walks up to him, grabs him, pulls his helmet off immediately. And I'm like, no, There's no way. There's no way.
Oh, I got to argue on that one. No, that is 100% what would happen. You're talking about someone who has insane strength, who can lift a literal like car without any effort with one hand. So it would make the most sense. There's no way he can fight her back and be able to like take control of that. No way. No way.
Matt's fought Luke Cage, Power Man.
I don't think Luke Cage can.
Literal Power Man. He can.
But also, you got to think, Luke Cage is much closer in height.
Strong AF.
He's not the size of.
The only reason she was able to do it is because she clapped the thunderclap or whatever, and he lost his sound for a minute. I want you to put some respect on Daredevil's name.
I respect him, but honestly, no. I mean,
also Kingpin.
He can't fight her. He cannot fight her.
He can.
He can maybe outmaneuver her, but he can't actually try and physically like take her down. So that's why he was trying to do all these flips and jump around and all that.
Yeah,
you just had to get disoriented. So make the sense
for him to get unmasked that easily, that quickly. I was not a fan of that. That kind of that hurt my heart a little as such a big Daredevil fan. But anyways, they drop him into this episode, and he's just like he's just a joke. I feel like he's a meat. He's just a meat pile. She's like, I bang Matt Murdock. And I wasn't loving the treatment of Matt Murdock. I also don't like the yellow and red suit, but that's beyond. That doesn't matter. That's just personal preference.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other thing I had to complain about? Oh, the other thing that I want to complain about, and this is just personal as well, is that she can't get a date as Jen. Right? That was a pretty big thing in the middle, is like no guy wanted to date Jen. They just wanted to date She-Hulk. And now she finally gets a date as Jen, and it's a blind guy. And I feel like that's fucked up. Like, you got to be blind to want to date Jen Walters. That blows my mind. But anyways, I digress.
I think there's a metaphor there because, what is beauty? Love is blind. And sometimes literally. But also I think it's a sign of a lot of this show is, and that doesn't happen until pretty much episode 9, where she can finally be okay with herself and just being Jen. Or kind of 8 too, I guess. I don't know, whatever. But sometimes when you're trying to find love, I guess, or trying to find something you really desperately want, you kind of look for it in the wrong places. And I'll give a metaphor like this. So like, someone I know, they were talking about in college, like how they wanted to really go to the clubs all the time during the summer and try and meet, like, finally get a girlfriend or finally meet the person they're looking for, blah, 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 blah. And another one of our friends made a really good point saying, why are you going to do that? And he's like, well, what do you mean? Like, that's where all the people our age are at. And that's where I meet the ladies. And he's like, well, that is not your scene. You don't enjoy that in general. So how are you going to expect to like meet, quote unquote, the one at the place that you don't even like to go to or do? Because it most likely are the people who are there are the ones who do. So it's like, you got to think about it. If you're Jen Walters and you're looking just to finally like get someone who would accept you or something, maybe she's looking for the wrong people and seeing the wrong people in the wrong areas. And also she has something very unique that not anyone other than like her cousin and some other superheroes, kind of like Matt, can relate to, especially in the law and like practicing the law and being a superhero. There are very not many people like that fit that criteria. So it made sense to me that like, okay, not only does she deserve a really good, awesome person to treat her well, she gets someone who could like actually relate to her and be a little sympathetic. And it made a lot of sense that it's Matt, not just because he's blind. I don't think that's what they're trying to say here. It's just because literally you have to ignore her and you can't be able to see her, just like be okay with her. That's not the point. But I do hear you're saying like literally the only person who would like actually give her the time of day is a blind person. But also look at all the people she was around. All really shitty. And Josh was paid and fake, so he doesn't even count. Tell me, man, you should rewatch the series.
I
think it might change your opinion a little bit on some things, because it kind of did for me.
I was going to say I might, but let's be real. I'm not going to do that. So let's dive in a little bit here. So they're in Emil's, like his cult area, doing the party, and Jen just happens to go up there for some rest and relaxation. At that moment, Nikki finds out about Todd,
Mhm.
and then she pays Pug to be a bro and goes down there, and she loses her cell phone reception. So everyone just ends up at the same place, right? And that's when you start to realize that this clearly isn't how this is actually going to go.
Mhm.
Like, how come everybody's in the same place at the same time? Like, that's not
Right.
clearly, like, come on. So she gets picked up by Emil so that he does. Well, first of all, what did you think of Todd transforming into the Hulk?
I hated it the moment I saw it. But real quick, does Emil is he on house arrest for his property? Is that one of his conditions? I can't remember. I think
I
so.
Yeah, I can't remember either. I thought he got off. I thought he was just
Well, he has that ankle monitor, but I thought that was because it keeps him from transforming into the abomination.
yes,
But
because
maybe it
Jen
is
has one
part of
too
it
at the
too.
beginning of the episode.
Right. Maybe they do both 2 in 1. Because that was my one thing is I was like, why is Intelligency at his place? How does he not know like who they are, what they do? But then again, if his rule is when he makes these guest speaker things, he just brings them into his own little like banquet hall or whatever, um, because he's on house arrest. So that makes a little bit more sense. But going back to like feeling about Todd, I like I said, I hated it. The moment he turned into like a green Hulk and everything, I was like expecting him to be red, and then he wasn't. I was like,
I was gonna
okay.
say, did you expect him to be red? But you did
I was
you did say
expecting
that.
it.
I just
Like I
didn't
was
think he
waiting
was
for it to
gonna be
happen.
green. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like I was like, okay, if he's turning the Hulk, this is our red Hulk apparently. And then he wasn't, and I was like, oh. And then he just looks so stupid. And that's how I was like, what is going on here? So I was really thankful that the whole crazy ass fourth wall rewrite with Kevin and everything happened because I was like, okay, this is better. If this is what the actual true intent, I would have been like, yo, Marvel, come on, you can do a little better. How did you feel about Mr. Todd?
I was flabbergasted because, like I said, we did a podcast with two black nerds, and you called it that Todd was going to be like this bad guy, and yada. I
Mhm.
was like, what? No, he was just some d bag she went on a date with. What does he matter? Then he came back again, and then he came back again, and I was like, what the fuck am I missing here? Like, I'm pretty good at calling shit, but this show, I wasn't expecting fucking leapfrog, and I wasn't
uh,
expecting Todd to be a thing. Like, who the fuck is Todd? So yeah, that was strange to say the least.
mhm,
As far as his Hulk, I too was expecting him to not be green.
mhm,
Probably red, if not red, like the gray Hulk that was original thing.
mhm,
But he
hmm.
just turned into a big green bro Hulk. There's a oh man, I'm a big avid fan of the Lego Marvel video games,
Hmm.
and they give you a lot of characters, right? And there's like a bro Hulk. I can't remember his name. If
Is he actually like called Bro Hulk in it, or does he just
no,
act like a
no,
bro?
he's got another name, but he's green and he's got like the bro
Looking it
faux
up.
hawk kind of thing to the side, and he stands like a bro, and he's like big and green like the Hulk. I can't remember his name to save my life, but
I'll find it.
I was kind of expecting like a shout out to that guy, and I was like,
Hmm.
odd, odd to do this, because sometimes in these shows, stuff you like, stuff is going to happen because they'll give you a guy's name and you just know that that's that character, but I don't. And
Mhm.
what I mean by that is like, I'm going to cross over into the DC area, but I watched The Dark Knight for the first time opening night when it came out. And I
Mhm.
love Batman, but I'm not like a huge Batman guy, especially in 2008 when Dark Knight came out. So this Harvey Dent guy, I was like, oh, this guy's pretty fucking wacky. And he's out there, man. He's fucking crazy. And then they turned him into Two-Face. And I was like, holy shit, this guy's Two-Face. And anyone with half a knowledge on Batman knows that Harvey Dent is Two-Face. But I didn't know that. So like sometimes they'll say, here's fucking Steve Rogers. And if you don't know who Steve Rogers is, when he turns out to be Captain America, you're like, oh shit, that's Captain America.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know if like Todd the God or whatever the fuck his name is a character in the Hulk comics, because I'm not a comic guy per se. Did you find Bro Hulk?
I'm looking, except it's kind of harder than I thought. Is it from Lego Marvel Superheroes? That game?
Yeah,
I have a screenshot. I think I found. Does he almost look like a Frankenstein looking dude, or is this someone else?
not that I can think of.
I don't know. There's also still some hidden characters on this, so maybe not. Um, but we were talking about this a little bit in the live stream. So the connections are kind of two potentials, and I think one is a little bit more probable now that we know that the leader is going to be taking place in Captain America: New World Order and everything. And this makes more sense. It's all about the super soldier serum still. Um, Basically, the leader has a brother, and his brother can be an asshole and whatever. And his name is like Philip something. And so the connection right there is that okay, Todd that might not actually be his first name, but his last name goes by Phillips, whatever. So maybe they're trying to connect it here. Maybe he's the leader's younger brother, and that could be how they are connected. Or, which is my thing, I was saying like, okay, there's some comics where Doom has a son. He's Doom very wealthy, owns a whole fucking country. So it makes a lot of sense where if Todd is actually his son, that's where all this money's coming from and everything. And there's more of that like Black Panther reference too, with him studying abroad in Wakanda and just being an overall D bag. That makes sense. But I mean, I don't really know if we're gonna see Todd again. And if we do, I feel like the only way we see him is if he is related or at least involved with the leader. Um, Because yeah, I don't really think this is gonna be a character that needs to be around much longer, now that we kinda see him just going to jail and all that, but I don't know. It could just be a rogues gallery of villains who are stuck in the raft or DODC at some point. It all just kinda depends in the future and what they have in planned. So, at the beginning of this episode, they have this really funny kind of montage of an intro that's very, very like 70s retro and everything. And it's totally a callback to the Hulk series that had like Lou Ferrigno and everything in it. And I don't know if you recall, but there was like some promo images here and there way before She Hulk released. And it had like uh, Jen and Bruce just kind of standing in this weird kind of like plaid suit look and everything. And that's where it actually was coming from. It was coming from this little cool intro that they did. I thought that was pretty cool. Did you have any feelings when you saw that, or you're like, "Whoa, what's this?"
I just thought it was kind of like a cold open kind of deal. I didn't
Mhm.
think it was going to be a whole thing. Um, I thought it was kind of funny. Just
Right.
Jen Walters, blah blah blah, got her blood.
Mhm.
Like you said, it was like the Lou Ferrigno stuff. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. Another thing that was kind of funny in this episode too is how Pug finally got to come back in the show a little bit more in the limelight, and him just like being such a nice guy. Ah, gotcha. Um, Pug being such a nice guy where he can't even like say the very sexist things that the other guys are saying in a little intelligentsia event, where Nikki has to literally tell him like stuff over the AirPod and all like that. Like, yeah, women, awful. Am I right? It's so silly. Um, I kind of hope we get more Pug in the future. Do you feel like there's any characters that would kind of like stood out to you in this series that you're really hoping we get more of?
Oh man, Pug, not as much. Um, if I had to move characters from this series to another, it would pretty much only be Jen, Matt, Hulk, the other guy that with Hulk that we'll talk about. If I had to pick another one, it would be like Nikki, obviously, and then that more than Pug, even that other lawyer lady. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, it's with an M. I forget her name too, actually.
Melanie or something, Melania, something.
Right.
She was interesting and she was good, and I thought Jen had a crush on her for a little bit. But
interesting.
Yeah. I don't expect her to move along. If anything, you'll get like Nikki, but
100%.
But then again, in a She-Hulk season 2, I feel like you're just going to get all of them.
Yeah. With the whole like talk about like Kevin shuts her down in that sequence, basically saying, "Oh, I'm gonna be in a movie." He goes, "No," but they kept on saying like season 2 a few times. So it definitely sounds safe to say confirmed we're getting a season 2 of this show, which I'm okay with, to be honest. I still expect her to show up in like a big team up movie or anything that would require more heroes and everything, characters in the mix. But I don't really think she needs her own movie right now.
And Jen?
Yeah.
No. God, no. Yeah, I'm not. I'll say it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. There wasn't like a huge story in this show. And I said it yesterday on the live stream, but Jen talking to Kevin took everything that I've been saying for the last 9 weeks. And she said, "Look, everybody's saying this and this and this," which everybody was me. And then she said, "But they're wrong because this is what's happening. And it doesn't have to go the way that you think it has to go." And I said, "Well, shit." She's like, "This is a story about how my life is falling apart." And I was like, "Well, shit." Because like, it's a Marvel thing. I'm thinking that, she's going to fight Titania, who I also thought was fucking terrible. She's going to fight Titania and this, somebody stealing her blood and it's going to be the leader and stuff like that. And obviously that's the stuff you expect. And then when none of that happened, I was just like, no, I don't want to say I felt cheated, but it's like you expect so much out of a Marvel property at this point that now when you don't get it, you're just like, what was the point of even watching that? And it's not to get other stuff. You watch it because you're a fan of the characters. You're not watching She-Hulk because you want to see Red Hulk. You're watching She-Hulk because you want to see She-Hulk. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And She-Hulk, to its credit, had a lot of She-Hulk in it versus certain moon-based show didn't have a lot of the moon-based character in it. You know what I'm saying? You feel you picking up what I'm putting down?
I see what you're eclipsing.
So, yeah. Like, I'm sure if I wasn't such a pain in the ass, it was a good She-Hulk show. But as far as giving her a movie, no, please don't do that. If you're going to give us, like, I feel like the movies have to be big deals, which is why everybody was so let down by Thor: Love and Thunder. I loved it. Don't get me wrong there. But everybody, like, they want this big epic thing now. Ever since Endgame, it's like anything that's not this big thing, they're like, that was just a waste of my time. Why did they even make Black Widow a movie? Why did they even make Eternals into a movie? Like, that should have been a show. They could have done a show out of that. And yeah, they could have. But they also made a movie, and it was, all the movies have been pretty good. I have to rewatch Eternals so I can stop talking so much shit about it. But like, I just don't see this being a movie. I feel like this was bred to be a show. Can they make a movie? Probably, but I feel like she's more of a TV show type character.
Yeah, a lot of it definitely warrants more of the TV, like the episodic format, because I mean, if you try to like condense these 9 episodes, or at least let's just say this story, you still wanted to tell the same story, but you need to do it in like 2.5 hours or 2 hours and whatever minutes, right? I don't think it goes well at all because it's like you really need to be able to just end some parts, end some starts, and just imagine literally go to a wedding in the middle out of nowhere, right? If it was a movie, that wouldn't happen. It would just be so disruptive and so strange. Um, so hopefully that maybe they take some good lessons from what worked, what didn't work for this season. And then when season 2 eventually happens, they kind of just keep going with it. But I don't know. The biggest thing here to take away is that we actually did get closure on why Bruce left and went to Sakaar. Personally, I thought they were gonna keep that secret until I don't know, like never reveal it until a movie or
That's
something
the
way down the
thing,
line.
man.
It's
Even
wild.
when
Yeah.
even when she was talking to Kevin, he's like, "Oh, well, Bruce was gonna explain." She goes, "Just save it for the movie." And I was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
And then, unless I'm wrong, but I swear to God, that's what she said. But then the time goes on, and she's at the dinner with her family and Matt, and then
Mhm.
he comes in anyway, and he's like, "Hey guys, I just wanted to explain." I was like, they literally just said save this for the movie, and then he brings out this kid with the worst hair possible. I just really needed to get that through. But
You're not
he's
alone in
like,
that. That's like the number one criticism I've heard is like, who fucked up this guy's hairline? Like those barber memes, like, hey man,
Do
you
you
know that
know
one haircut? Yeah, I
do
got
you
you.
know what Scar looks like in the or Scar in the comics or just in pop culture anyway? Like he's got long hair and he's like a barbarian. He looks like Conan the Barbarian, but a Hulk. And for some reason he's got like a man bun, but it's shaved in the front. And I did not get it at
Louie
all.
and a half. The only thing I could draw any sort of like reference to was he kind of looked like how they do the old school. Some samurai had their hair like pretty much shaved up on top and then left it like that. But it just I don't think that's what they're going for.
Like Yuri Prohaska for all of my UFC fans.
Sure.
But yeah. Kind of super really excited about that. You know, I big time Hulk fan. The MCU kind of ruined that, but they have so much potential now to like give us good Hulk stuff. That being said, have they worked out their stuff with Universal? Are they going to buy Hulk from Universal? What's going on? We're going to find out.
Well, that's what I'm wondering about too, because like going back to when you said like save for the movie, and I'm trying to find the little clip right here about it because I'm I'm kind of reading that in two ways. Um, is she saying save it for the movie? Because he said Kevin's trying to say that we're about to bring him out, or we were going to announce blah blah blah. Save it. I almost wonder if they're talking about the leader and saying they were gonna bring the leader as like a post credit scene or reveal him in this episode. But she's like, save it for the movie, which would be Captain America. That's what I kind of thought of. But it could also, I mean, you're right. It could be inferred that they're talking about Scar showing up. So I I don't know. I don't know. I'm really trying to like find the pinpoint about it to get a better idea about like what seems more likely.
Well, the one time I watched it, I just it made it seem like there was another Hulk movie in the works, but I could be completely
Here.
fucking wrong. Who knows?
Okay, so and Bruce swooping down from literal blah blah blah. But Bruce is supposed to return to explain what he was doing. No, we don't need to hear any of that. But we were going to introduce save from the movie. Yeah, okay, 100%. You're right. It's Scar. That makes sense. I missed the Bruce part, so that's okay. I'm because what I thought was going to happen was the leader was going to be the one who shows up at this cameo because he got revealed and announced at D23. And I thought they were going to just be cagey and hold out until whenever to tell us exactly why Bruce is leaving. So that's why it's kind of interesting that it's complete opposite. I was pleasantly surprised. And I was like, oh shit. Like the moment Hulk walked into that backyard little barbecue picnic thing, I knew I'm like, oh shit. They're doing it. They're gonna show he has a son. Because I was like, why else would he just be back unless he was gonna be like, hey, I brought tacos and be done. He was coming for a reason. Yeah, that probably would have been a little lame.
Wild.
And also, cousin Ched still, I was wrong. He's not a Red Hulk
Yeah, there's no Chet Hulk.
yet.
So she broke so many walls in this episode. We keep coming back to the Kevin conversation, but it was so great because she was like, I'm gonna sit down. And he's like, why are you gonna sit? Don't sit. Like, and then finally she just sat down. And he goes, well, can you transform back into Jen? You know, you're costing us too much money. And he goes, but do it off camera because we sent our CG guys somewhere else. And she goes, what? And then it points over to Kevin and it points back at Jen just standing there. Goes, you know, the little Black Panther. Yeah, I was so that like I heard it the first time. Well, I only watched it once, but I heard it and I was like, yes, that is the funniest shit.
It is very funny. I'm so bummed I didn't catch that until I read about that because I didn't have the volume loud enough to hear it since I was watching it like stupid time in the morning.
That was my second. That was my second favorite fourth wall break of the season.
Also, once again, Jen is a person for the people. Got to give her credit for that. The whole and when are the X-Men coming? Or when are the mutants coming? Then she does her little like stupid like tongue-in-cheek thumbs up to us. Fucking perfect. I was like, okay, thank you for that. That is funny as hell.
Did Kevin respond? Oh, they're coming. Just wait or something like that. Did he say anything?
She goes, oh, and when are we getting the X-Men? I cannot tell you that.
Oh.
Yeah, and then she goes, okay, back to S.H.I.E.L.D. That's it. But like, it's funny. Like that is like they 100% know what they're doing. But the fact that they're addressing it in this funny way, perfect. Which is why I'm glad it was Kevin, the robot, versus Kevin Feige. Because it's funnier of a delivery when it's from the bot versus Feige. And plus, honestly, let's be like, I think the robot's more entertaining. Kevin Feige isn't an actor. Great presenter, great spokesman, master planner. He's the fucking Watcher and Eternity. But like, I don't think it would have been as funny as if it wasn't for literally she's talking to Kevin's a robot. And it's a play on the algorithms because that's literally what rules our social media and our content and everything. So it made sense.
Ooh. So yeah, I feel like we've broken it down pretty well.
Yeah, the only thing that's left is so the credit scene that we did get was taking Emil and putting him back in good old Kamatage because he's in the ODC again. They put him in there because he fucking, broke his deal. But it's kind of funny that he's actually going seeking asylum now at Kamatage because once again, I give this credit to my rewatch. I was confused. I was like, why is he just going back to Kamatage now? Other than just like, but then I totally forgot. When Wong was doing his testimony for the case of Emil Blonsky earlier in the season, he even mentions, he was like, oh yeah, I even offered him asylum at like in Nepal, but Emil declined it. So now it makes sense. Okay, Emil's like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. This ain't working anymore. I'm not doing this shit again. Like, take me out, buddy. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I genuinely have no idea what Wong and Abomination are doing together.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's totally clear just yet.
It was weird during Shang-Chi. Weird now. For me, the thing that I got was when Wong came late and he's like, oh, you were late again. He goes, yeah, I got stuck in another show or something like that. I think he said something like that. So do you think he's going to be in Secret Invasion? I feel like he doesn't fit in Secret Invasion at all.
Well, he's talking about peak TV. He was talking about a TV show. But Secret Invasion, though? I don't know. Now I kind of want to see him,
talking about a different TV show. He was like watching TV.
Yeah, because Emil goes, "Oh, you got sucked into another TV show, right?" And Wong goes, "We're really in an era of peak TV."
Oh, I
Yeah.
apologize. In my mind, he said sucked into another show. Just was like a call to like how he's been in every fucking show.
Well,
So
honestly,
you
it
got
could be a
sucked
double
into
meaning.
another show, and he's like, "Yeah, I got sucked into Infinity or Secret Invasion over here, or
What if?
I don't even know any shows that are coming. Any other shows that are coming? Be honest with you.
I don't think that's too far off, though. I think that could be a little joke. I mean, literally, all we're talking about is like fourth wall this, fourth wall that, meta this, meta that. So it is kind of funny. But I kind of want to see him in Secret Invasion now, because if we're talking to any about like, could Wong be a scroll? Right? It makes sense to show him in Secret Invasion.
Yeah,
Probably
be
not,
weird if
but
Wong was a scroll. Yeah,
as much as I am a proponent and will fight for Wang the Conqueror, him being a scroll is probably more makes more sense.
so that just makes me think. I don't trying to like make a timeline in my head, but I genuinely don't know. Like the next time you were gonna see Abomination now would probably be Avengers Kang Dynasty, Secret Wars even. Like I don't imagine him
Mm,
coming back for She-Hulk season 2, and I don't even know if that would be before all that stuff.
yeah, I have to say, if we get a season 2 for the show, it's at least 2 years out because of the CGI and planning alone. Um, okay, so do you remember my theory about they might be doing Strange Academy or setting up for it?
Yeah, but it's Wong Academy.
Yeah, and this is what made me even feel more like confident in that. That's probable because this is another big character that's now going to Kamatage. So you have America Chavez, who's there. You have Wong, of course. We also have Rentar, and then we also have now Emil Blonsky. And then I wouldn't be surprised if we eventually get Ned over there because of his random ability in No Way Home. So it seems like there's something brewing there. But weren't you talking about even a while ago that you think that Wong is really setting up the first version of uh our 616 version of the Illuminati? Because if so, maybe this is just
I
the beginning of the new HQ or something, and that's why these people
I
keep
did
just
see
sitting
a
there.
thing for the Illuminati being the smartest man in the world, the Sorcerer Supreme, the Captain Marvel. I don't know where Emil would fit into that because then you have like Wong, Bruce, um, Carol Danvers. I don't know who else would be in it. I don't know who like the Professor X would be,
Hmm.
or or the Captain Carter would be either, other than Sam. But I don't see Sam being that.
Hmm.
So I don't know if they're even doing an
Well,
Illuminati
Bruce,
type deal.
maybe,
Hmm?
maybe Bruce.
Well, Bruce is the smartest man in the world, right?
Oh, I was thinking Reed Richards in that sense.
Well, Reed,
That's the point.
yeah, we don't have a Reed just yet. So I figured, like, as far as we know, Bruce Banner's the smartest man on our planet. And then our Sorcerer Supreme is Wong instead of uh Mordo.
Hmm.
And then who else do we have? Captain Marvel would be Danvers. And yeah, I'm not sure about the other guys,
Maybe
but
Namor down the road.
Namor.
Namor. I guess it depends on what kind of forever plans out. No way he dies. I'll put money down that he doesn't die in it. But
Will
um,
you poop your pants?
if he dies,
Yeah.
I might pee in the pool a little bit.
Oh,
What I
that's
do there.
hilarious.
Yeah. The last thing I'll say about this credit scene, though, I was really hoping Madison was going to be not even at least seen, but at least heard Like, Wong, come on, you're
That's
missing the
not
best
where you
part.
think. Wongers.
That's what I was hoping for. I was like, please tell me they're still hanging out. I don't know, man.
Rip, dude.
It's so silly, but like I really like them together. It's just funny. And she's not
I love Madison.
obnoxious, right? She's cool.
She's definitely obnoxious, but love her anyway.
She is obnoxious, but
Wongers.
not like the moment where I see her and it's like, I guess the best way to compare is she's not like a Jar Jar Binks equivalent. I don't mind Jar Jar for the record.
Shout out Mr. Marvel's Minutes podcast.
And the rest of Star Wars fandom who hates Jar Jar Binks. Oh man. So Louie, any final thoughts on this show or even just this final episode? I mean, finally over. And the next show we're gonna get is What If Season 2 in early 2022. Or 2023.
Early 2023.
Correct.
This show, I don't know, man. I'm not a big MCU show guy. Oh, I hate saying that, but I feel like these shows, I haven't, like, I really liked Loki and I really liked Hawkeye. And other than that, they haven't really been doing it for me. Like, I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier a lot, but like WandaVision, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, whatever else I'm fucking missing.
WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk. That's all it shows.
So I like, it's cool to get the content and have something to talk about, and you get a little bit of you get a pinch of Marvel every week, but did I need this show? No, I didn't. Like, I don't know if you go back so many months, we talked about what we're most excited for in Phase 4. And I was really excited for this show. And I was really excited for the Eternals. And I was just like disappointed by both.
We'll have to do a
Eternals,
revisit. Yeah, and be like, this is we should do an episode after Wakanda Forever is out. We should do an episode where we go back, take a look at our list of what we were most excited for, like you just said, and then how do we feel now? That'd be kind of interesting, actually.
Yeah. I think I said I was really excited for Eternals because it was all new characters and we're getting a new story and, kind of a more serious version of the Guardians of the Galaxy type deal. And I was wrong about that. I did not like that movie on first watch. So hopefully if I ever get a few hours to myself, I'll just turn it on and maybe I'll enjoy it better the second time. And as far as the shows, I was really excited for She-Hulk and I was really excited for Moon Knight. And I just, Moon Knight will forever be that show to me that just did that. All the action parts, cut them out. It was such a weird decision to make. But, it is what it is.
Comparatively, because now this is the end of our shows that we've had for this year. So we have 8 total streaming series that have been released since January 15th, 2021, which kicked off with WandaVision. So I feel like you might be in agreement with me, but do you feel like last year's shows were much better compared to this year's shows then?
So last year was Loki, WandaVision, out of order. WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye.
Yeah, so there's 5. So the difference is they had 5 versus 3 this year.
Those shows were better.
Right.
What If was trash. What If is still the worst one. But I have those shows above all these other shows.
I'm trying to do it in my head real fast. Like, so if I were going to do a ranking right now, WandaVision number 1, number 2 is Hawkeye, 3 is Loki, 4 is that's where it's kind of just anything is anything. I guess 4 is maybe the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then I go to Moon Knight as 5, No, I'm going to put She-Hulk at number 5. 6 for Moon Knight, 7 for Miss Marvel, then 8 for What If.
See, I'm at, jumble it up, but it's about the same. Loki, Hawkeye, Falcon Winter Soldier,
Mm-hmm.
and then whatever.
Just depends on your feeling, right?
WandaVision, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, What If.
Mm-hmm.
But
so, yeah, I mean, honestly, we got Werewolf by Night, but that's not a show, so I'm excluding that. And same thing, I'm excluding Galaxy, a Guardian of the Galaxy holiday special that comes out this holiday season. But really, it's What If Season 2 is coming out, which I guess is actually still slated for 2022. That can't be right. Maybe we get like the last couple weeks of December and then it goes into January and shit. But I digress. The real shows that aren't animated is going to be Secret Invasion, which is in spring of next year. Then we have Echo and Loki season 2 are on track to release in summer of next year. Heard Echo had to do some pauses and stuff, so I think Echo might get delayed. Maybe a fall of 2023. And then Ironheart is 2023. So that's the shows we got next year. Ironheart, Loki season 2, Echo, Secret Invasion, and potentially Marvel Zombies. Actually, that might actually be in there too.
Yeah, Zombies is animated, right?
Yeah, and I heard it's only going to be 4 episodes, but it's TVMA. They're going brutal with it.
It's weird. 4 episodes.
Yeah, so I'm wondering either if let's say they're 30 minutes on average, right? That puts you at 2 hours of time. Which, okay, basically a movie, 4-part movie.
All right. I have to say this. Okay, I'm changing the subject. Do you have anything else to say about the subject?
I was just going to say next year's slate of streaming series seems very, very high potential. Just looking at it, Secret Invasion, Echo, we'll get more Daredevil and Echo, Loki, that's highly anticipated. Ironheart, I think it'd be really good. Ironheart is one I feel like could potentially miss the mark depending on how the story is, but that's all I got.
Did you see? I keep seeing that they've confirmed a Mepihsto actor and he's coming in Ironheart. Did you see this?
The only Mepihsto stuff I've been seeing is the action figure that people are like, oh my God, does this mean we're getting him in the MCU? No, it's a fucking action figure. And it's totally, just because it has Marvel doesn't mean it's a movie. But Mepihsto actor? Okay, I'm looking it up. So let's do a brain dump.
It's probably wrong because I see lots of wrong stuff. But I keep seeing that Sacha Baron Cohen is going to play Mephisto in Ironheart and House of Harkness.
This came out 7 hours ago. Oh, there's a lot of rumors.
About him, right? Sacha Baron Cohen?
Yeah, and some of these
fucking Ollie G into House or Borat or whoever you want to call.
Okay, yeah, there's some sites on here that are very not consistent, but then there are some that are somewhat like comicbook.com. Who broke this is what I want to know. Was it the Diz Insider? Who had the top? Who said this first? Interesting. So how do you feel about that? Sacha Baron Cohen.
Terrible. I feel terrible about it.
You want to feel him worse?
Sure.
This is why I know leaks and rumors cannot be trusted right now. And I have a theory I'll get to in just a second. I can't remember when I said in that 4-hour stream last night, but I'm thinking about it more lately. So one of the Marvel Studios spoilers leaks that I saw was for like who's potentially in the final runnings for the cast of Fantastic Four. I'm not going to go through it all from what I remember, but Sacha Baron Cohen, or am I saying his name right?
Cohen, yeah.
Cohen. He's rumored to be the Thing.
Okay.
Yeah. No fucking way. But if he is something in the Marvel universe, Mephisto? I'm not opposed, I guess. It's I could see him being a devil. But as soon as I think about it, I just imagine a mix of Frenchie or whatever his name was from Ricky Bobby mixed with Borat is being our Mephisto.
And that sounds awful. Mephisto's the devil himself. And he's like this goofy dude, right? He's like a fucking goofball, funny comedian actor. And I feel like that's not who the devil should be.
I will say
Honestly,
though, he can be a very good serious actor. He can be.
the best role for him in my mind is unfortunate because it's already perfectly cast. And that would be like a Deadpool.
Interesting.
Like, I think he'd be like fucking around and being an ass and everything. That's just his like bread and butter, you know, just being a fucking annoying dude.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who Deadpool is. But Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. There's no arguing that. So if you can find a Deadpool like character, I guess he would be okay. But I don't know about him playing Mephisto, especially since we're all so excited for Mephisto. For them to be like, oh yeah, it's fucking Borat. Goddamn Bruno or the Ollie G into house. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went down the rabbit hole further. Apparently, this person who like confirmed the leak or some shit was saying, fun fact, they wanted Giancarlo Esposito for the role.
And he turned
first,
it down.
He turned it down.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And
I don't want to see Esposito playing another fucking villain role. He does it well.
The best.
He's great,
the best.
but he can be a hero. That's why I'm actually okay with like if they make him Professor X for the MCU. I don't know how they explain it, but I would honestly like to see it because sometimes Professor X does have a dark side because he thinks he knows everything. But at least it would be nice to see him in like a good person role. And that's why like I see this, I'm just like, I just see this as a bunch of bullshit. I kind of hope it is. Did I cut you off? I feel like I interrupted you on my little.
No. I just, who knows? Who knows what we're going to do?
Now I'm wondering, how does I don't know anything about Ironheart other than I know that it is about technology versus magic in the show because they have like the Red Hood or whatever the character is supposed to be the antagonist in that show from what I read. But Anthony Ramos has the Hood.
I say the Red Hood is a Batman villain.
Yeah, that's what I was like, that's not right. I just out of all the places for Mephisto to show up, I would not expect it to be Ironheart. But also, I'm the one who has been saying when we get him, he's going to be in the weirdest spot and make no sense because they probably don't want you to see it coming. So it also does kind of like not surprise me that he could potentially show up in Ironheart. But I don't know. That'd be weird.
I should have brought it up yesterday and let you guys go to work, but I forgot. So
no, it's okay. Interesting.
All right. Let's wrap this big boy up in a nice bow for our good friends. I want to give a little shout out to Ocampo Customs himself, Dan. He is an avid listener, and I think he's the fucking best. Also, Codge Wills, my friend Connor, he listens all the time, and he texts me about all the episodes. I think he's cool as hell too. He told me the episode we did with Tom was off the fucking chain. He didn't use the terminology, but let's go with it. So a little shout out to them. And during the live stream yesterday, you said you had some Star Wars trivia and you wanted to hit me with it, but I had to leave abruptly. So let's hear it, Devin. What do you got for me?
Well, I got one I'll do for you. And then
you ask me an Anakin question, I'm gonna flip this desk.
Keep the younglings away. Let's do something easy. What color lightsaber?
Purple.
Different question.
No, was that right?
No. I did think about it at first. This made me think about Mace Windu because there's only one who has a purple lightsaber. What lightsaber?
You can
color?
ask the question. It's fine.
No, I'm going to do it. What color lightsaber does Rey have at the very end of The Rise of Skywalker?
So Rey has her lightsaber is green, and then it turns blue. Does she end with a blue one? Blue. Final
No.
answer. Fuck.
So
Red.
she has a blue
She's part of the
lightsaber.
dark side. It's fucking red.
She does have a weird, like, dark side, I don't know, phenomena that happens where she sees like an evil Sith version of herself with some weird ass alligator teeth and has a double-sided red lightsaber, which would have been pretty fucking cool if it actually was real. But no, she had a blue lightsaber the whole trilogy because it was
Damn
Luke
it.
Skywalker's saber. But when she finally turns her staff into becoming a lightsaber, which I should have fucking done before the movie ended,
Yellow.
it's like that yellow color.
Fuck.
Yeah. Hey,
So,
you know, you guessed it. You're like, change this to change that. Pretty good.
so Kylo Ren has a lightsaber that doesn't work. It's not supposed to work or whatever. That's why it's got the two little beams coming out the side.
It's supposed
Looks
to
like
be
a sword.
Yeah, it looks supposed to like a sword because that's actually, I guess, pulled from inspiration of old generations of just Sith and Jedi, I guess, who actually had the actual
So-
sword looking saber.
His is red. And then some stuff happens. He kills his dad. Some more stuff happens. He joins Rey, and his turns blue.
The
He
reason
gets
why
a
it's
blue one.
blue, the reason why it's blue is because Rey digs up his mother, Leia Organa,
Yeah.
Luke's sister. She digs up her saber, and it's also blue. And so she has both Luke's saber and Leia's saber during the final battle with Palpatine and the Knights of Ren and shit. And basically, he gets one of the sabers, and so that's why it's blue.
But that
'Cause
like
he takes his-
signifies him being a good guy now, right?
Yeah, because he's no longer Kylo Ren at that point. He's Ben Solo, and he
Ben
took his
Solo-
red
yeah.
saber and he chucked it into like an ocean beforehand.
Just
so
like Harry
that's
did
why.
with the Elder Wand. Rest in peace, Rubeus Hagrid.
Yeah, man, that one hit. That one hit hard. For those who don't know, but Melissa and I, we named our dog after Hagrid, so it hit a little bit. So, rest in peace, Robbie Coltrane. The last thing I do want to do, because we haven't done this in a long time, because I've been busy AF, we got some trivia shout outs, and then we can actually get the heck out of here. So how about we do a quick shout out?
Oh shit! I haven't done anything
I got you, Louie.
because I'm the worst.
You're
I'm
not
the
the worst.
podcast host possible.
I got you. So, Louie, the question was, which of the following is not one of Peter Parker's rules to surviving the zombie apocalypse? And
Oh yeah,
What If
I got
Zombies?
it wrong because who gives a shit
I knew you were
about
going to say something.
what if zombies? The answer was even on there, and I still got it wrong because I'm an idiot.
So, the possible answers was stay quiet, maintain proper hygiene, cover your skin, or always aim for the head. And the correct answer that was not one of the rules was shh, quiet.
Stay quiet. I said always aim for the head because that was a very Thor thing, and I just didn't think that was a part of it.
Yeah, this kind of was a tough one. It kind of
I
was.
was wrong. So let's give shout outs. I'll go first. We'll shout out Puffy Tortilla, who I haven't seen in a while.
Nerdy
Maybe
Boys.
that's just because I haven't been paying attention. T Simps 15,
Kill 'em 112.
NYC A9,
Then Mr. Marvel's Minutes.
Samantha Saurus,
Pixie Dust Sammy.
and some guy named Tom. Just kidding. Tommy Boy 24, Tom Sides of the Two Sides of the Story podcast.
And while we're shouting out podcast too. So last we'll say about the whole 4 hour live stream. Go check it out on our YouTube channel. Look in the show notes. Just want to give it a shout out to all the awesome podcasters who hung out, and literally it was a game of musical chairs because one person would leave, then one person would show up at the exact same time, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just keep staying. I'll just stay glued to a chair for 4 hours. My legs are still numb. Not really, but shout out to Michael from the Star Wars podcast who answered my call of just saying, "Hey guys, I'm just gonna chat, do anything because I'm bored and I got nothing to do tonight." So he said, "Hey, I'll hang out." So shout out to you. Go check out Star Wars podcast. Also got good old Lee from Lights Camera Rant, all the way from Australia, who hung out for us a little bit in his morning time when it was our nighttime. So go check out his podcast and him. Awesome dude. And then we also had Louie, of course. But then we also had a surprise appearance from Kyle from the good old Nerd Dose podcast. So we just had the episode 8 review of She-Hulk with. Go check him out. And then, of course, Tommy Boy from Two Sides of the Story and Mr. Marvel's Minutes. And that was the night. I'm thinking in my head. Yes, that was everyone. And if you watch any of the stream, appreciate it. It was a fun time. And we literally just talked about anything and everything. Not all was Marvels too. So we might do this like once a month or something and only make it
mostly not Marvel. Let's be honest here.
It took an hour just to finally get into She-Hulk. It was like something else and something else. And you know what? I was here for it. We talked about,
at least when I was there, it was a lot of Avatar, Top Gun. We did a whole Black Adam section. Lee from the Lights Camera Rant hates The Rock. Hates him. And yeah.
And turns out Louie has not seen any Marvel movies.
I have not seen any Star Wars films.
Or Top Gun.
Or Top Gun. Or Avatar.
Well, this has been Earth 894, a Marvel podcast. And so we are halfway through October at this point. And so we just want to thank everyone for listening to all the She-Hulk episodes. It's been a blast having all the guests on and looking forward to seeing and talking about some other things. We got Wakanda Forever coming out in a few short weeks. Then we got Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which I am very, very excited for. And then we're going to be talking with some guests that be making their first time on the show and some other fun stuff. So definitely excited to bring you guys some cool content that isn't just a show review. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the podcast so you can get those episodes as soon as they drop. We're on every podcast player known to man, including a goddamn ColecoVision at this point. What would help us tremendously, and we mean it when we say it, give us a review. We'd really appreciate it because when you give us a little review, it takes only a couple seconds. If you're on Spotify, just give us some stars that you feel are appropriate. If you're on
5 stars,
do it on there too.
5. If it's not 5, tell us why it's not 5. Is it because we ramble too much? Well, then give us less stars because we're not going to stop doing that.
But you can comment why you gave us that review on Apple Podcasts. And you know what? If it's an awesome review, or if it's even a good one that's very constructive, we will recognize it. We respect your ideas, guys, and your feedback. We'll read it on the air. We'll do it. And we won't call you out in the worst way possible. Unless you say, I smell like hot dog water. Then fuck you. But it's okay. But the last thing, and this is the thing you need to be making sure you guys are following us on TikTok and Instagram and everything at Earth894 Podcast. We have some Halloween merchandise, some merchandise that's on our store right now. You can check it out by going to our link for it in the show notes in this episode, or even just go to earth894.com earth894podcast.com/store, and you'll see it all there. But Louie, holy cow, we got some cool Halloween designs made by Emily, and I can't wait to see them on a hoodie, on a t-shirt, on a mug, on a goddamn crew neck. Very sinister and spooky. So go check out new merch and get yourself something nice. There we go. Well, Louie, the last thing I'm going to actually say now, glad to be just the two of us. I missed you, buddy.
We can make it if we try, Devin.
And damn will we succeed. At least try to.
All right, guys.
Have a good night.
Thank you for listening to us. By the way, we're getting Wolverine! ask me an Anakin question, I'm gonna flip this desk.